The Boomerang Compact CB Base Station Antenna, Unboxing and First Look, by Paul, Mike 0 Whiskey November Uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres and PMR 446.
Hello again, welcome back to the channel. This is Paul, Mike 0 Whiskey November Uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you're catching me on 11 metres and PMR 446. It's 29th of February today, leap day. In the background, the previous video I've done on the Sirio High Power 4000 is currently rendering. However, by the time this gets to YouTube, that video will already be up on YouTube. So, there we go. So this is for another antenna unboxing. Now, after the debacle with Parcelforce, or Parcelfarce as I've been calling them for quite a few years, because they have, this isn't the first time they've cocked up. I went to the local post office and retrieved the antenna, and it's in a round cardboard box taped up with Thunderpole tape. So what I'm going to have to do is find out where this box needs opening. Now I'm guessing it's at the end, top end here. So I have the knife from last night. I left the blade out, which is a bit naughty of me. I'm just going to cut along the tape there. And the reaction of the counter assistant who used to work at the same place I did, but for reasons that I'm not going into, doesn't anymore. He was like, when he guessed that it was an antenna, I said it was an antenna. He was like, yeah, it is an antenna. But not for my car though, is what I also said. Because this is hopefully going to be the Thunderpole, it is actually, and I didn't need to open that box very far, the Thunderpole Boomerang. It's quite a long box considering. It's a bit of a tight fit as well. Here we go. So, it's a bit of an unboxing again. So that's the antenna, as it's supplied by Thunderpole. Now, it comes with this nice chunky little bracket. Well, I'm not sure it is that chunky. It comes with a U-bolt, an Allen key, some nuts, bolts, washers, and it all connects up in there. And it has two whips that are helically wound by the looks of it. So, this box is going to be, well, it says 26 to 28 megahertz, but well, there's another little whip section in there. But I'm pretty sure 26 to 28 megahertz is just so they can sell it as a CB antenna. I'm pretty sure it will work to 10 meters. With some fettling, I haven't actually figured that out. Now, it's an interesting packaging because it's kind of heat shrunk. So I'm going to have to remove this in a delicate surgical fashion, I think. So, let's see. Without doing any damage to the actual antenna. This isn't my first Thunderpole antenna. My own last one's Thunderpole as well. But that wouldn't work at this address because I have double glazing, and when I bought that on glass antenna I had single glazing, but then they upgraded that to double glazing there, so I think there's some instructions in there and I don't want to damage them. There we go. It's got the plastic off at the top. Now the idea of these is if you can't have a massive 18-foot silver rod type thing up, you can have one of these. Now this appears, oh, it's got a little black marker on it, look. And that, I'm guessing, goes in the top. And the rest of it's all helically wound. It's actually kind of clever, that. There's a little rubber boot in there for the top of that, so we'll put that to one side. Now I'll look at the instructions once I actually get into this a little bit further. Yeah, there's a little rubber cap which would go on that end. There's a little black marker on this which I'm pretty sure is to set it for the UK band. Not 100% sure though, but that's how it would look. So it's a tiny little whip. And then you've got two bits. You've got one bit, the short bit, which goes at right angles at the bottom, and the long bit that goes on the top. So this is very destructive of this really lovely packaging, which I like actually. It's kind of good. It's minimalist. It's just a piece of cardboard with plastic shrunk on it. It's very minimalist. It's also probably quite easy to recycle as well. There you go. Kudos to Thunderpole for thinking of such good ideas. Thunderpole are a very good company. It's only Parcelforce that have been the letdown in this instance. So here's the first whip. Helically wound. See, it's all a little helix. Up to about that point, and then not sure what's in there, unless that's still helically wound. And then in the top there's a grub screw somewhere, if you can see it, just deep in there, which you undo to put that whip in. So we'll be doing that shortly, because I want to assemble this to show you what it looks, kind of what it looks like. And also get an idea of how to tune it. It's got a thread at the bottom, which I think is a 3/8 thread. I think this might be designed roughly on one of the mobile whips, I don't know actually. So I'll just put the top bit, which that would be, down there for the minute. So there's some instructions, which we'll come to in a minute. There will be an on-air test of this antenna at some point. When that will be, I don't know. So this is the bottom section, which has got a rubber end cap on it. So I'm wondering if there's something in there. I don't want to take that off because that might cause problems further down the line. So this is the bottom section. Looks like it's got a bit of sticky tack or something on it. Yeah, that's a bit messy, but yeah, we'll clean that up a bit. Unless that's supposed to be on there. If it is, if it isn't, it isn't. Oh, no, that's part of the box, that's what that is. So I'm planning to use this as my base antenna, because, you know, the spider antenna design, although it works, it's a bit cumbersome to get out the window on your own. It worked fine when my wife was here, but unfortunately she's not here, is she? She's 5,000 miles away in America at the moment because of our country's border people, and who don't let people who are legitimately allowed in the country. Yeah, I'm not going to say too much on that. I've said enough about that before. So anyway, back to the subject at hand. We've got this. So that's the bottom section of the antenna. I'm going to put that down there as well, where I can reach it. Just slightly off camera. So the antenna also comes with a little bag of hardware, which I've alluded to before, which contains, if I can get it out, this is really well and truly stuck in here. Whoops, I've ripped the bag, but that's okay, because I need to get the mounting hardware out in here. So we've got a U-bolt that goes around a pole or a tube or something. So we should also have in here Allen key, that's to get that grub screw out. Goes on the desk. We should also have 2 nuts, 2 flat washers, and those are for the U-bolt. And then finally, the last part, and the part that you actually do need it, that actually A, connects it to the radio, and B, attaches it to the pole, is this part. This isn't actually too hefty. Nice lightweight piece of, I'm not sure what that's made of. Do I have a magnet to hand? No, it's one of those times I could use a magnet and I don't have one to, how can I do actually? Yeah, it's steel. It's steel. So, looking at this, the short bit would screw into the bottom there, your coax goes in, obviously goes in there, and the top bit goes into there. So, it's nice and light as well. It's not too heavy. It's probably about the same weight, roughly, as the spider antenna probably would be if it wasn't attached to a load of wooden things. But we'll see. The spider antenna is a design that myself and my wife came up with. I'll explain what that is. It is a biscuit tin with a hole through it, a Stereo stud mount. It is a Stereo one, I'd like to point that out. A 3/8 thread adapter, you would have seen that on my car before, and my Springer orbiter style antenna. I don't think it was a Thunderpole antenna, so I can't really call it an orbiter. So it's a Springer style antenna, with the antenna being painted, aftermarket painted white. It's on top of some plastic guttering with a bit of wood attached as well to attach it to the window frame. So this is probably going to be a lot lighter. So assembly. So look at the instructions. It's got a frequency chart, so you can set it for the top whip to be 165mm if you only want to operate on CEPT, but may need moving them down for fine adjustment. If you want to use it on the UK only band, you Ah, you can take off that red cap, there's a screw inside there, so you can just tweak it. So it's 20. So for 27.6.125 to 27.99.125, you would adjust it to 157. There's no measurement on there for the 27.5 or the other free band frequencies. You're just going to have to figure that one out yourself. I'm not going to encourage anyone to use that frequency because it is not really legal. So this rubber cap, it turns out according to the instructions, there should be, I'll just remove that, there is a big massive, there is this big screw underneath it. That, they turn that in and out for fine adjustment, so I'm guessing there's an inductor in there or something. So I'll put that back on, because you don't obviously need that. Okay. And it attaches as this. So you've got this part would screw in to here. So it looks like a standard 3/8 thread, so you could probably get away with 2 tank whips in this configuration if you really wanted. But I wouldn't advise that. So that screws in there like that. So that's the bottom part, that would be the ground plane part. Neatly wound, quite clever. So it should. So that's the part that would be at the bottom. So that's what it would look like that. And then the top section, which just looks like it might be a standard mobile whip, but I've not actually thought to check that, screws in to, well, this might hit the ceiling actually. Yeah, it does. So top whip would screw into there, into the top. I'll show you the thread. There we go. Top whip screws in there. I have to do this on camera somehow, I'm not sure how. So I am actually screwing that in. I will rotate it round. I've screwed it in a tiny bit so you can actually sort of see what's going on there. I think this is a fiberglass whip as well, Tommy. It's nice and light. And even with those 2 bits in, this is still quite lightweight in comparison to most CB antennas. And that's all there is to it. You got the upright, which is hitting the ceiling a lot because it will, and I haven't even put the top section in yet, and this bit at the bottom. So the top section, which I can actually do on camera, if I just bring that, if I just put that down there like that, so that there's no stress on the so this is the top section. So the grub screw in there, you can't really see that on the camera, but I've shown you where it is. The idea is you remove that, you slacken the grub screw off, you don't completely remove it. There's a little black marker on this, which I'm guessing is the fine adjustment. I'm guessing that Thunderpole have marked that. And if it doesn't go in the first time, remove more of the grub screw. There we go. So I'm going to set it to the top of the black mark, and then I'm going to tighten that off. And then when I'm ready, and when the weather dies down, and there's no more chance of strong winds, rain and storms and stuff, I'm going to put this onto a temporary mount, and I think I found a temporary mount for it that I can put it on. It's going to go out up on the air, I'll get it tuned up properly on the President Grant 2, because that's my base radio. We'll see how it fares. So, this is an unboxing and, well, it turns out, assembly of the Thunderpole Boomerang. It's also this sort of antenna is also made by Sirio. It's a slightly different design. There's 2 variants of it. It was a bit more expensive for the Sirio version, and that's obviously heavy as well. And this is also sold as the Sigma Boomerang. I bought this from Thunderpole because, you know, it looks like the perfect antenna for me to get on the air on CB, and no one's going to really pay much attention to what it is. Looks quite cool though. How it performs remains to be seen, but Thunderpole claim it can do about 10 miles. Now, I'm going to be setting a benchmark with my Thunderpole T3000 and an RTL SDR connected to the other end of this. So hopefully it might work. And if it's still viable when my darling wife returns, then we won't have to put up our spider antenna because we'll have this. And the best part of that is my darling wife can use the Team Robecom FS in the bedroom like she was doing when she was here before. Although I haven't said that, I do need to repair the microphone on that. So there we go. So that's two brand spanking new antennas that I now have the Serio High Power 4000 for the car. Yep, and I've actually done a 70 mph test on that, and it actually passed that with flying colours, so it's alright for the drive to Blackpool, because I'll be doing a lot of motorway driving. But I still didn't get anyone on the 1.9, which is a shame. So hopefully when I come to do the on-air part of this, I might get someone on the 1.9 with this. I hope so, because I don't really know anyone else with a CB that I can arrange a sked with. So this is all assembled. All I have to do is put it on a pole and put it out the window. And it isn't even that heavy. That's light. I can lift that with one hand. They say it's 2 kilos, but I don't even think it's anywhere near that. So all I have to do is put it out, put it up, tune it, and if it's not quite right, bring it down, adjust the whip at the top, adjust the screw at the bottom, and we'll see what happens. It should be set. I'd probably need an antenna analyzer to get a better idea. I'm looking to get one of those Chinese SARC ones. I can't remember the actual model name of them, but I will remember it eventually because I'm getting one, hopefully, because I do need an antenna analyzer. And who reviewed one recently? Yeah, Ben at Rusty Skull Productions actually bought one and reviewed it and said it was alright. So, you know, that'll probably be one of my next videos or a future video. So, that's all done. This antenna is ready to go. I've just got to tweak it. At least it's got some kind of frequency chart. I can get further information on the frequencies for this antenna on the internet. So if I want to tune it for 10 meters, because I do actually have a 10-meter radio here, I can do, but I'm not sure how well it'll work. And I'm not sure what the noise levels are around here at the moment. I haven't checked them recently. But I think they might be a wee bit higher than I'd like. So anyway, it's time for me to go put this antenna somewhere, and I can't edit this video until the other video is finished processing. So the other video is currently processing, and this one will be getting processed as soon as that's done. Right, so this is Paul, Mike 0, Whiskey November uniform, or if you catch me on 11 meters, or PMR 446, it's 26 Charlie Tango 730, and as I mentioned in the last video, if you want to go old school on the CB and use handles, it's the Red Squirrel. And, you know, hopefully this will be on the air sometime soon. 7 3s for now.
Don't forget, you can subscribe to this channel and ring the bell to be notified of new videos as I upload them. 73s from Paul, Mike 0 Whiskey November uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 on 11 meters and PMR 446.